In the opening scene, we see Danny taking pictures of the activities and things around her. She dreams that someday she will become a photographer in New York City. She's just getting started, and she intends not to leave until she makes her mark. At home, she calls her parents to inform them that she will not be coming home for the Christmas festivity because she has some work that needs to be done. They are taken by surprise because they want her to be there with them instead of working through the holidays. Danny apologizes to them, but there's little she can do because she is in charge of the lab's Christmas fundraising program. Her supervisor, Lisa, wants her to focus on her work, and she has only a few months left in her program. Coupled with the fact that her portfolio needs to be impressive, though they'll miss having her around, especially when it's time for all their Christmas traditions. Her parents wish her well and understand why she will not be joining them for the holidays. She bids her parents bye so she can hurry out with her friend Tanner. Her dad, Luke, requests to take a minute more so he can inform her of his friend's daughter, who recently moved close to her after going through a breakup. He wants Danny to have coffee with her and probably help the lady ease her emotional pains. She agrees to go on a platonic date with her. At the Kaczmarek family firm, Amelia, a corporate litigator from a family of lawyers, and also the heir to her family firm, sits with full concentration on her work when her dad, John Kaczmarek, walks in. He commends her good work and hands her the next case she will be working on. He encourages her to loosen up instead of keeping to herself ever since her breakup happened. He reminds her that he will be retiring soon, and she will be taking over for him, which will require her to expand her circle of friends. He hands her an invitation card to their firm's Christmas party, where most of their biggest clients will be present. Therefore, her attendance is mandatory and non-negotiable. She tries to find a way to convince her dad that she doesn't want to attend, but he refuses to oblige her. She hasn't even met their biggest clients or possible partners, and this will be an opportunity for her to show them what she's got and reveal herself as a member of the Kaczmarek family. Amelia grudgingly accepts, but then she draws his attention to the fact that she needs only one card. But he insists she will find a date to bring along to the party. She sighs in dread as he walks out of the room. On their way to work, Danny reveals to Tanner that she feels a little guilty about disappointing her parents with her absence from their Christmas party. Though they are trying not to make it look that way, she knows they want to set her up with the daughter of her father's friend. Tanner assures her that it's okay to set boundaries, and that with time, it will be easier for her to separate work and family responsibilities. At her workplace, Lisa addresses everyone, urging them to keep their work impressive and come up with great ideas for the auctions because they need those sponsors. She lets Danny and Javier continue addressing the others. Meanwhile, Danny receives a text from Amelia, asking for a coffee date. She drops her phone to address her colleagues, hoping they will be able to work together as a team, even though she will be leading them. After dismissing her colleagues, she sits beside Tanner to read Amelia's message. He teases her a little and encourages her that she will be able to handle it. She lets out a forced chuckle when Kyle comes to take him away. At Danny's parents' house, they miss Danny already, as this is the first time in 30 years that she will be missing Christmas. Luke suggests maybe they should go to someplace cold for Christmas. Raquel thinks there's no point decorating if Danny will not be at home, but her husband gives her an assuring embrace, reminding her that he's here with her. At Amelia's office, she informs her friend Quinn of her date with her father's friend's daughter, which she has to attend just to get her dad to leave her alone. Quinn likes the idea of Amelia finally stepping out of her comfort zone. She encourages her to keep her heart open and be willing to make new friends. Over at Danny's parents' home, Raquel excitedly comes to inform her husband that she's got an idea. She didn't think she would have the chance to attend the symposium in New York because she thought Danny would be coming for Christmas. But now that she's busy with work, she intends to make a last-minute call to see if she can get a reservation. That way she can spend the holiday with her daughter over there in New York. Her husband shakes his head, but he can't stop his wife, who is bubbling with excitement. Lisa seeks Danny's opinion on the portrait she's hanging on the wall. It's the artwork of an artist who used to be a member of their Brooklyn Artist Lab, though she didn't quite think he would make it until he applied himself and won a travel grant. She suggests that Danny apply for one of the grants, as they would have many opportunities soon. The day for Amelia and Danny's date arrives. Amelia arrives at the cafe early. She is tending to some work when Danny joins her. The ladies spend the entire date getting to know each other and sharing what their parents told them about each other, inclusive of their astrological signs and their compatibility. They bid each other farewell at the end of their date. Danny's mom calls her as she walks down home. She shares how fun she thinks it'll be to go to a writer's symposium. The moment she asks to know where the symposium will be, the voices of her parents calling her name make her raise her head. She's surprised to find them in New York, right in front of her house. She leads them into the house, still speechless at how surprising her parents can be. Raquel goes on and on about how there are no decorations in her house, and she offers to fix up the place. The couple notices the look on their daughter's face and suggests they give her some space. Amelia arrives at her apartment and is trying to get off her gloves when her dad rings her phone. He inquires about her date, and Amelia pretends it went well, also noting that she will be meeting up with Danny the next day. John feels proud that she's finally letting go of her past and ready to embrace a new start. He informs her he will be sending some notes for a case which they will discuss the next day before hanging up the call. While Danny and her parents enjoy the poncho, she suddenly requests to be excused as she needs to rush back to the lab. Her parents attempt to follow her, but she refuses and urges them to wait while she hurries out and gets back as quickly as she can. Danny gets to the lab and Kylie comes to update her with some information she was able to gather regarding their forthcoming auction and donations. Kylie sees a Raquel McCallan book on Danny's desk. She is so shocked to hear that Raquel, the renowned author and literature professor, is her mother. But then, she wonders why Danny chose photography instead of walking in the path of a writer. Danny explains that her dad is a mathematician, and with her mom's profession, it's only natural for her to choose visual arts. She invites Kylie to her place to meet with her mother. The overly excited Kylie compliments her decision to forge her path. She quickly wraps Danny in her arms, thanking her for the opportunity to meet with an author she has always been in love with. Danny hurries back home to meet Tanner at her place. He informs her that her parents stepped out not too long ago and shows her the peanut butter Christmas cookies her dad prepared. Danny's phone chimes. She checks it and sees Amelia's text. She found her missing gloves. She replies with a smile on her face, and their chat lingers for more than 3 minutes. Tanner wonders who she's chatting with that has completely taken her attention. The next day, Danny serves Amelia a plain black coffee. She reveals that her parents are in town, and she's trying to work a way around having them in town and her work. Amelia is surprised to hear that, and just then, Mr. and Mrs. McCallan, Danny's parents, walk into the cafe. She was stunned because she invited them to the cafe, but they arrived 29 minutes before the time. They sit and introduce themselves to Amelia, who is looking speechless. Danny watches in surprise as her parents take over the conversation and invite Amelia to the Christmas tree lot. What's more surprising is that her dad is communicating with Amelia's dad about how well her relationship with Amelia is going. Amelia nods her head to indicate that she told her dad that they are hitting on quite well. She requests to have a word with Danny quickly. Amelia reveals that she made her dad believe that they are getting along far better than they did, and she's certain their dads have been talking about them. Danny now understands that Amelia fake dated them to her parents, and now her parents think they are dating. She apologizes for the miscommunication and promises to clarify it right away, but Danny stops her. She suggests they continue with the miscommunication until Christmas Eve. This is because she is already busy, and she wouldn't want her parents breathing down her neck to get a +1 for the series of Christmas events they will be attending. Amelia thinks it's a fine idea, as she would also need a charming +1 for the law firm's Christmas party. She accepts the offer. After all, it's going to be a win-win, and it'll put their parents at ease concerning their love life. Luke and Raquel wonder what the girls must be talking about as they observe the communication between them from the see-through glass doors. Luke thinks they might be talking about him. They might feel it's too early to introduce their parents just yet. Later, all 4 of them head into the Christmas market. Luke and Raquel excuse themselves in a bid to give the couple some space to themselves. Danny and Amelia walk through the trees section, and Danny takes snapshots of things she finds artistic. She shares the journey of her career since high school, while Amelia listens as she's checking out the trees. They finally pick a tree, and Amelia suggests they take pictures that can be uploaded on their socials. That way their parents will be more convinced about their relationship. Danny thinks it's a good idea, so she quickly brings out her phone for some selfies. Unknown to them, Mr. and Mrs. McCallan are spying on them. Seeing the ladies taking selfies convinces them that something is working out between the two. Amelia and Danny are dragging the tree into the house when Tanner comes to inform her of the situation they are having at the lab. Nyla called, saying donations have been arriving at the lab, and they can't let about 50 donations stay out for too long. Danny informs her parents that she will be leaving with Amelia because she needs to rush down to the lab. Amelia, who seems to be having a wonderful time, insists she will be staying with her parents to decorate the tree. Danny appreciates her and rushes out of the house with Tana right behind. Danny arrives at the lab to see everyone busy. On seeing her, Kylie welcomes her and hands her the first part of a book she has written down. Calls and texts keep coming into Danny's phone, thereby interrupting their conversations. Amelia gets home and decides to look through some files from work. She remembers that she will be meeting with a client the next day, but she lies to her father that she will be hanging out with Danny, so she won't be a part of the meeting. She puts a call through to Danny and requests a +1 favor. She reveals the situation she is in, and now she needs cover for her lie. Danny laughs and gladly invites her to the event happening at her lab tomorrow. The next day, Tanner encourages Danny to rest so she doesn't break down juggling work and the Christmas preparations at home. He tries to find out if something is going on between her and Amelia, but she interrupts him right away. He quietly watches her as she picks up her phone in anticipation of who might have sent her a message. She drops the phone in disappointment, and immediately, she realizes that it's simply a text from Kylie. Amelia meets up with Quinn, and she updates her friend on the recent happenings and her fake date when a call comes in from Danny. She picks up the call and Danny requests to borrow her car, to go pick up her car from Long Island. Amelia puts the phone away and seeks Quinn's permission to use her minivan for a quick errand. Amelia and Danny arrive at MS Visor's place to pick up the donation. To their surprise, it's an enormous teddy bear, bigger than the size of an average human. His visitor appreciates them for coming. She sees no need for them to thank her because she is a huge fan of the arts, and she would do anything for the sake of it. The ladies grab the teddy bear as they head down to the minivan. They arrive at the lab, and the duo struggles to drag the teddy up the stairs. Even though they are almost running out of breath, they have fun as they successfully bring it upstairs. Kylie approaches them, and Danny introduces Amelia, who rescued her from having to take the gigantic teddy through the subway. She thanks Amelia, who requests to take her leave so she can return the minivan. Danny rushes home to change, but she meets her parents, preparing her favorite meal. They invite her to come join them, but she politely informs them that she's late for her karaoke date night with Amelia, so she needs to change into some other dress and head out immediately. Amelia joins Danny at the lab, and the duo soon start chatting until Tanner's voice interrupts them from the speaker. He invites everyone to move closer to the stage for the karaoke night to begin. Kylie welcomes Amelia for showing up and uses the opportunity to invite her to come join them for the Christmas Lamp Festival the next day. Amelia reveals that she will be with a client at a top restaurant, so she may not be available for the event. Kylie is surprised she will be seeing a client at a classy restaurant that's so difficult to even make reservations. She shares how Margot booked a reservation for them, but it didn't work out. Amelia is surprised that Kylie somehow knows her Margot. Her mood changes the moment Tanner calls Danny and her upstage to sing. She goes outside as her mood just got ruined by the event. Danny leaves the stage to check on Amelia, whose emotions soared after hearing Margot's name so out of context. She didn't know Margot had moved halfway across the country. Amelia asks for permission to leave because she doesn't feel like going back inside. Danny watches her pitifully as she turns around to take her leave. The next day, Danny meets with Lisa, her boss, and they engage in a little conversation about Danny's passion and confusion about what to donate for the auction. Lisa encourages her to go chase what stirs her passion. After all, that's why she is in the lab. After that, Danny visits the park to take some photographs of nature. Coincidentally, Amelia sees her and calls out to her. Danny finds out that her apartment is close by. From the looks of it, they seem to be getting along pretty well. Amelia confirms their meeting for later in the evening. In the evening, Danny and her parents walk down the walkway to her artist lab for the Christmas Light Up Festival. On getting to the entrance, they meet Amelia, who's carrying some cookies she baked earlier. They go in and immediately, Kylie sees Raquel. She comes running to thank her for accepting to read her book. The events soon start as Tanner plays his dance version of Angels We've Heard on High. Everyone gets on with the creation of their lanterns, moving their bodies to the beat of the music. After all is set and done, Kylie requests for the lights to be turned off so they can set free their lantern, which is already lit. Danny sees Javier working. She walks over to him to find out why he's not having fun like the others, while Amelia and her parents seem to be getting along pretty well, discussing her profession. The event finally comes to an end, and Danny comes searching for Amelia, but her parents inform her that she has to go attend to a new client. She didn't have the time to tell her about it because she had been busy with Javier. Raquel feels Amelia must have been jealous, which is why she left. She seizes the opportunity to preach to her daughter that Amelia is important as well as her work, and it's very wrong of her to leave her to go be with Javier. Luke gently pushes his wife into the cab in front of them, but she refuses to stop babbling instinctively. After her parents leave, Danny sends an apology text to Amelia. Luckily, She isn't angry as she inquires to know if Danny is ready to be her +1 for the law firm's event tomorrow. The following morning, Amelia goes about selecting what she will wear to the event. Danny comes out of her house, feeling all good and set to kickstart her day. The event finally starts, and the ladies attend looking so beautiful in their makeup and black dresses. John comes to join a lady. He takes Amelia away for a few minutes to apologize for forcing her to attend the party, because he wants her to have what he had. In the few minutes Danny is alone, she mingles with quite some interesting people. She soon goes to drag Amelia to come join her conversations while John admires his daughter and her partner. Later on, Quinn, Amelia, and Danny sit together chatting. Quinn comments on how happy both of them look. She suggests that they renegotiate their agreement since it will be expiring the following day. The ladies smile casually as they watch her get up to go answer a phone call. John soon comes to take Amelia to introduce her to some of his clients. And in no time, she comes back to join Danny. She discovers that Danny has to miss Javier's event just to be with her at the firm's party. She appreciates her sacrifice. She reveals how busy she was that she didn't see that Margot wanted them to explore the world together until the day she came back to announce she was done being in the relationship all by herself. But then, she's been enjoying the past few days and time she's been spending attending the countless events Danny's artist lab has been hosting. At the end of the event, Amelia sees Danny off to the front of her apartment. She thanks her for being a wonderful +1. The emotions between the ladies get heated, but they handle their emotions quite well, resisting the temptation to kiss the other. Amelia hugs Danny and confesses that she's looking forward to her show happening the next day. They bid each other goodnight, and Amelia turns around to leave while Danny watches her leave before entering the house. The next day at work, Danny goes through her stuff, and she finds just the perfect one for the event. She rushes to call Lisa to come have a look at what she has. At Amelia's, Quinn wants her to admit to having real feelings for Danny, but she denies it. She sees the fake couple's reaction when she mentions the end of their deal the previous night, and she knows for sure that Amelia has developed real feelings along the line. Amelia lets go and agrees to tell Danny how she feels about her, but she's not sure if she feels the same. It's evening and time for Danny's silent auction. The McCallans feel proud seeing how hard their baby girl has worked. Amelia enters the lab and sees Danny doing some touch-ups. They soon start talking, and Amelia reveals that she's going to bid on the gigantic teddy because there's a connection between them. She informs her that they need to talk about something important, and just then Tanner calls her to come on stage. She asks her to go as the discussion can wait. Tanner gets on stage and welcomes everyone to the event. Everyone cheers as he ushers the resident photographer in the person of Danny to come to say a word. Danny questions how the audience can identify a good photograph. She makes a joke and displays the beautiful photographs of the people around her, which she took over time. The audience is astonished at her work, and she seizes the opportunity to throw some magic in the air as she takes random beautiful pictures of the gathering. Everyone gets caught up in the spirit of the moment because she does what she knows how to do best, capturing the moments. Kylie appreciates Danny's good work when Lisa walks over to inform Danny that the sponsors are very impressed and that if she's interested, the travel grant is hers. Danny's joy knows no bounds as she holds Lisa's hands, thanking her for everything. The excited Kylie runs off to tell everyone of the good news. Kylie reveals the good news to Amelia, but it doesn't sit so well with her. She is already into Danny and now has travel grants. She feels worried that what happened with Margot might happen once more, and her mood changes almost immediately. Danny joins her and requests to hear what she wants to talk about. They go to a spot where they can talk without interruptions. Amelia sobs softly as she can't bring herself to reveal her true feelings to Danny anymore. She thinks she will be gone for real, so she decides to say her final goodbye after their deal is off. Danny tries to make sense of what she means by goodbye, but Amelia hugs her and turns around to take her leave. Luke and Raquel see Amelia leaving amid tears. They wonder what could have gone wrong that she's leaving in that manner. Danny sits down outside the lab, feeling all emotionally down when her parents come, asking what happened between them. She's trying to nurse her sadness at the turn of events, and she reveals the truth that Amelia was a fake girlfriend, and now they aren't even fake dating anymore. Danny apologizes to her parents for lying to them simply because she wants to prove that she can be the captain of her ship, even though it's sailing wrongly now. Her parents encourage her to brighten up. They reveal that they are not mad at her, nor does she need to worry about them. They assure her that she's doing well in her career, especially with the news of her travel grant. They want her to be happy, and they promise to support whatever she does. Danny's mood lightens up on realizing how much her parents love her. The next morning is Christmas morning, and John opens the door to his daughter's apartment. He enters and Amelia wishes him a Merry Christmas with a very unhappy tone. They sit down for breakfast, and she confesses to her father that she'd like to take a step back from being a corporate lawyer partner at the firm for now, because she has a different idea. She proposes to start a new division with a new line of clients relating to artists. Amelia has enjoyed the few days spent with Danny's family and colleagues. She feels like she can create something interesting. John likes the idea, and he welcomes it. Danny steps into the living room to meet Tanner and her parents prepping the house for the festivities. They wish her a Merry Christmas. Her mother apologizes to her for not paying attention when she tries to communicate her boundaries. She apologizes for showing up without notice and promises to listen to her deeply and carefully, even when she doesn't like what her daughter is saying. The mother and daughter settle all scores and wrap each other in a loving embrace. At Amelia's, she serves her dad her new favorite double peppermint hot cocoa, which is Danny's favorite. She wonders if it'll be served in Japan, where Danny will be going. John reminds her that she isn't even on the plane yet. Tanner announces that Amelia won Bedford Bear. Danny reveals that she has a photo of Amelia and the bear which she intended to give her the previous night. Her dad urges her to go ahead and give it to her. They know that Amelia wouldn't have left crying if she wanted to end things with her. Something strikes Danny, and she asks Tanner who Amelia spoke to at the event. She realizes that there might have been a misunderstanding, and Amelia thinks she intends to leave everything behind and move to Japan. Tanner offers to help her remedy the situation. At Amelia's, Luke calls John over the phone and immediately tells him to not say his name and to act naturally to prevent Amelia from knowing. The dads talk and Luke requests he stall Amelia from going for her run at the park for 15 minutes. Danny and her parents hurriedly get into the cab to go catch up with Amelia. Meanwhile, Tanner sets their lab crew to work in a bid to assist his dear friend save her love. John tries to stall her, but Amelia is bent on leaving. So, he informs Luke that she is leaving the house already. Amelia arrives at Brooklyn Park and sees pictures of herself and Danny, as well as Bedford the bear. She gets all emotional as she moves around to gaze at a photo of her Danny took 2 years ago on her first day as a New Yorker. Danny comes down to talk to her. They talk about how they feel about each other, even though Danny will have to leave for Japan. Danny convinces her that they are destined to be together right from when she took the photo of her 2 years ago. And it doesn't matter how far apart they might be, they will always be together. She requests for Amelia's permission to kiss her, and the duo finally achieve their longing to kiss each other. After the whole show at the park, the family and friends gather to have Christmas dinner together. Danny takes the floor as she makes a toast to family and also to friends turned family.